Good morning and good afternoon, SAC team members. And yeah, we're going to do things a little bit differently today. And the reason being is there wasn't enough to actually have what they call a quorum at the meeting this evening. So I decided to stay back and record a quick synopsis of some of the things that we were going to talk about. It's not going to be all of them, but we're going to talk about some of the things. That way, we can get some of the important information out there to y'all, and you can have something to respond with, so on and so forth, right? Let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull up the screen for the last series of minutes. Let me see if I can do that on the side here. Let's see here. There's that. I should have had this pulled up already, but I wanted to get going as soon as I could. Let's see. Here's a meeting minutes. Let me go straight to it. Let me get out of that screen because you don't want to see all that mess. Get on my drive. Let's see. SAC Cadle. And then meeting minutes. There we go. So let me put this up real quick. I know it's been minutes since our last meeting, but here is some of the things that we covered at our last meeting. I presented myself as the new CRT, and of course had to be voted in as, well, the person who helps run things, new chairperson, if you will. And then that was taken care of. Talked about the parent and family engagement survey, which I have the results for tonight. And then, of course, Mr. Dotson had some things to present, some data in regards to the what they call the PM2, or what they call the second assessment for the FAST. So there's the primary assessment and then the progress monitoring assessment, right? So we talked a little bit about the data there, and then how the PM2, or that progress monitoring session 2, was taken in December. We talked a little bit about the best standards for Florida, and then how 7th grade was well above average. You can read all that stuff there. We did kind of explain some of the information on what the SIP is, or the School Improvement Program, okay, and or the School Improvement Plan, and I identified some goals on there, and you can see those goals right here, so I'm not going to go over into too many details. But basically, decrease referrals and increase parent achievement. If you by chance hear something in the background, by the way, the air conditioner guys are working on new air conditioning system for the 700 building, and that's going to be a long, ongoing project. We talked a little bit about the Title I budget, and of course, how basic K through 8, which we are as in a middle school, shared how much, and I got some information about the new upcoming budget. And then, of course, we talked about parent and family engagement, how we're using All Pro Dads, All Star Moms, how we had some remaining remaining funds. We looked over the budgets, so on and so forth. I did have a Google Meets session scheduled, and that was up and running at the appropriate time. No one signed in, but we did talk about having that availability. Hopefully this video will help satisfy. And then, of course, the meeting was adjourned near 6:23. All right, so that was all the last meeting. Again, that was just very, very brief. Okay, you have all the information right here in front of you. You need to pause the video to go over it. Feel free to do so. All right, now instead of rambling, let's get straight to the information we have for us tonight. All right, so that was a review of minutes. Now, as far as review of voting council, at the last meeting, we talked about how I would try to contact those who didn't show up at the last meeting, in the last series of meetings, to see what was going on, so on and so forth, and I have an update, all right? Now, of course, we know those that come in, so I don't need to cover this information. By the way, this list is all those who signed up and we got responses for that they would be considered a voting member for the 2022-2023 SAC committee, or School Advisory Council committee. Let's see here. From Miss Destiny Glover, I got inbox full multiple times. I reached out by phone on the 30th. There was no answer, no voicemail. Let's see here. With Miss Jolene Marker, who was here at the first meeting, but wasn't at the second one. Let's see, I attempted to reach out by email, no response. And then at 3:30, around 10 o'clock, I left a message with an encouragement to come on over and come to the meeting. Didn't show. Let's see, Mr. Poloni. I reached out to that individual and I contacted him and I invited him. He did not show. Let's see here, Miss Roberts. Yeah, there it was. She asked me for a text reminder the day beforehand. No, not by email, and I was able to facilitate that for her. Unfortunately, she messaged me, said she was unable to attend for various reasons. So she did not show this evening. And then, of course, Mr. Gordon Purcell looks like transferring his son for the upcoming year and declined to come out. And then, of course, there was one student who was not enrolled. And, of course, I contacted Miss Biedenbaugh and invited her out. And then she was unable to receive mail, but I made the invite nonetheless. So that takes care of that. Alrighty. So I did send the invite to Miss Kathy Roberts and Miss Biedenbaugh, who I got responses from. They wouldn't be able to make it. So that is the current update. We also reviewed that a little bit tonight in passing discussion, not official discussion, and we'll look at hopefully starting the new year correctly. All right, Mr. Dodson is not here to make the principal's report, and the principal's report also included content in media centers and classrooms. So what I'm going to do is I want to get together a separate, at least basic information or presentation of what's going on with that, have that furnished by our media center specialist, and see what's going on there, and of course include any notes from Mr. Dodson. So be looking forward to that in the near future. I will be out of town coming up starting tomorrow, but I'll get that facilitated as soon as we're done, hopefully by the end of the following week, if not the week after that at the latest, depending on the responses here. Let's see here. SAC member surveys. Yes, y'all should have received some emails from me. There were 2 of them that went out with regards to surveys. Now, on one of those surveys, the, let's see, where's that at? There we go. That was sent out on the 17th, so that was St. Patrick's Day. I sent that out, and that was due on 3/30, so we can't take care of that one. However, this one right here is still available for you to take, and what this one is asking is, it's asking, hey, do you want the Parent, Family, and Engagement Program budget for our school overall to be at 1% or 2% of the overall whole budget? I'm going to cover what that number is here in a few minutes, all right? So obviously you could use the QR code, use your scanner, or go straight to that website as you see here on the screen. Again, take your snapshot here or go and input this on your browser and take that survey, all right? And that's only for SAC members, all right, and those participating in the School Advisory Council here at LCMS, all righty? So again, that first one, that was due. This one you could still take, but I encourage you to take that as soon as possible. All right, so next thing I have for talking about and consideration is our Title I Compact. Now, here's the cool thing, all right? As you guys know, a compact is an agreement between 3 different parties, all right? It's not really a contract, it's a compact. Obviously, it's just a standard agreement, okay? And it's something that we use in the education system to kind of help encourage learning growth. And effectively and essentially, it says, hey, you know, there's learning that the student has to do, but we have to work as a team, both parents and as a school, to help that student learn, right? Learning growth is the overall objective, okay? And Miss Poe and Guidance brought up to me that they needed some things corrected. And as I was reviewing the overall compact, I went ahead and just made the changes as she saw on there and had her look over it. She was okay with it. I had Assistant Principal Christie look over it. She was okay with it. And now I would like to present it to you guys to make sure that you are okay with the information on there, okay? And if you are, you can just respond to me by email. Hey, the compact looks great. I like it, you know, so on and so forth, all right? So here we go. All right, so in gray, and I got my video in the way, so let me see if I can move this video out to the side. There it goes. All right, so in gray are the words that I changed, okay, and were changed for the compact itself, okay? You can see here, the old one neglected, or the original one neglected the word the, and the second one, let's see, let's see here, I don't have it on me. There was a change in the word and as well. Now, This next one was the biggest change on this sheet, okay? The changes here say, okay, the compact is a voluntary agreement and a promise of commitment to help so-and-so, this is going to be the student's name, and it says progress in school, okay? And I like that, but in my opinion, I thought a change was needed. So I'm going to suggest help so-and-so with their progress in school and to promote the highest academic achievement possible. And everything else remained the same. So if you're okay with that and you're okay with those changes, please let me know. Now the second part, the compact is reviewed at guidance and during data sessions about the student, okay? And even next year, we're probably going to send these home with all students to have them signed and returned to us, okay? Now, the next page, there were some changes up here. Now, before we were using the FSA, the Florida, whatever the FSA stood for, right? But we had to change this area specifically to represent the changes the FAST, because now we have the initial assessment, and then you have progress monitoring, right? You have progress monitoring 1, progress monitoring 2, right? So here we updated this to include that information, all righty? So you have scores for the FAST progress monitoring 1, all right, and of course FAST reading or ELA, English Language Arts, progress monitoring 1. SS is for the student score, and then AL was, what was AL? Give me a second. I'll think about it in just a second. I think that was the overall, basically their assessment level. Okay, are they a 3? Are they a 5? Are they a 2? Are they a 1? So on and so forth. All right. So student score and over an academic level. Okay. And so you see that same thing for 2, and then of course you have the science pretest information and the civics history pretest information available there. And of course, math can list their assessments. English Language Arts can list their between assessments. This is assessments given in class, science, civics, and history. And of course, it covers the current grade for those information and what have you. So if you're okay with those changes, please let me know that you're okay with that, and we'll go ahead and enact those as soon as possible here on campus, and of course, run this forward into next year as well. Alrighty? Again, just not to create confusion, that's the changes here, right, up in these gray areas where the verbiage was changed, and of course, this area here with regards to the scoring. Okay? All right, let's see here. Next item up for bid. All righty. I have the complete results printed, and they are available on campus. If you want one, let me know, and I'll have one left at the front counter for you. Okay. In fact, all the handouts that I have tonight, the handouts included the compact that we just went over. It includes this parent and family engagement survey. Okay. Let me know, and I'll leave it at the front counter for you with your name on it, and you can come by and pick it up at your convenience. All right, so we took the parent-family engagement survey, and I wanted to share some of the results with you. Now, this isn't a comprehensive look at the results, but things that I thought was important or areas that we could really improve upon here at LCMS. Now, I bring these to your attention because, hey, we can work on this together to figure out and formulate ideas which might help promote better results for these areas we need to improve. Okay, so let's see here. Let me move this forward again. All right, do you feel welcome at our school? Overall positive, 85%. However, there were some that said no or didn't know. I don't know how you not know that, but there you go, okay? And now our responses, though, were very, very low. This is really key, right? LCMS only had 61 people or parents respond. That is very, very low. So when you think about that, currently, we have 946 students enrolled, right? And so if there is a direct ratio, and I know some parents have 2 students that go here, what have you, but even assuming a 1-to-1 parent-to-student ratio, right, only 6.5 people responded in regards to this, all right? So that's a very low percentage, okay? So keep that in mind as you're looking at this, and keep that in mind with your lens as you're looking at this information, right? So there we go. That's 85%. Said yes, but I am concerned about those who either didn't know or what have you, which is almost 15% of those respondents. All right, this is a big one. Do you feel informed about the school's goals for student achievement? 72% said yes. Only 20% said no. So there's 20% who are not liking what they're, about what they're being informed about. Are you aware of the skills and standards that your child is expected to learn this year? Again, that number is even more significant at 68% with yes, almost 22%, well, 22.5% with no, and of course the 984 with the don't know. All right. So you can kind of see that information here on the graph, and of course the specific results and the actual number people that responded to that one. All right, I got these here. I know there's a lot to go over, but let me just move my video screen there in the middle. All right, does the teacher keep you up to date with your child's progress? So almost 80% said yes, almost 50% said no, and others just did no. Does your child's teacher inform you when your child is doing well? Because check this out, when you're doing wrong, you hear about it all the time, right? But if they're doing well, do they respond? The answer was just shy of 70%. Almost 30% said no. That's something we could probably work on, and we're definitely open for ideas on how to take care of that. Alrighty, this is another huge one right here. Does your child's teacher inform you if your child has difficulties at school or falls behind? 31% said no. Alrighty, and then 64% said yes. So we definitely got some improvement to do in this realm. And we'll look at examining how we can do that. And we are definitely open to suggestions. That's one of the things that we have our SAT committee for. What is your perspective? What are you hearing? What's your feedback? Could we do a better job? How can we do a better job? What are some input of ideas that you have for that? All right. Now, here's the cool thing. Do you feel comfortable contacting your child's teacher with questions or concerns? 93% said yes. Okay, there's a reason I put that on the slide, all right? Not inferring anything, all right? But, you can kind of see, you can put the piece of the puzzle together yourself. All right, let's see here. Next one. Question 11. Yeah, as you can see, I skipped a few, okay? Are the results of standardized tests for your child explained to you in any way, right? You had 62% said no, 31% said 62% said yes, 31% said no. And look, I get it. FAST is new. We're fixing to have FAST now. I'll explain that in a few minutes. It's new to us. And so, and we've only been really talking to those in really outside of anything that's been communicated with the teacher in the guidance office. So that's something to keep in mind. Do you have the opportunity to discuss how to improve your child's performance with teachers? 75% yes, almost 20% no. Alrighty, let's see your next screen. Does your child feel safe at school? If no, please contact the school's guidance counselor. 13.1 respondents said no. All right. If I put in some responses were given to me manually to fill out. All right, and I filled them out myself. Okay, so I as the person input it in. And if the person left their name on it, I went ahead and made sure they let guidance know about that. Overall, 80%. Okay. Again, look at the respondent numbers here. Okay. Does your child feel that there's an adult they can talk to at school? All right. Overall, 85% said yes. Other ones didn't know. I can get not knowing. And then 6.5% said no. All right. So those were brought up for a particular reason. Let's see here. Let me move my screen back over into the middle-ish. Let me keep the Mr. Cadle commentary out of this. Have you had an opportunity to take a survey, go to a SAC meeting, attend a Title I meeting, or participate in PTO to provide your input on your school's parent and family engagement plan? 60% yes, 31% no, others didn't know. Have you provided information about materials and events available to help you work with your child? Again, yes was 72%, 21% said no. Would you attend an event on how parents and teachers can work together for student success? Now, I can tell you that we changed the word from workshop to event because the idea of workshop, I believe, scared people. And I brought that up at one of our CRT meetings, Curriculum Resource Teacher meetings, and we discussed that maybe using the event might be more friendly. but we have a lot of don't knows in this category. So that's really interesting. So almost 70% positive, almost 7% no, and the others don't know. Do you feel informed about important dates, events, and activities at our school? 12% said no. Alrighty, and a few more, and we're going to wrap it up here. Using the list below, indicate your preferred method of attending parent and family engagements events. 66% they preferred in-person brick and mortar, and then the others, 35%, said events offered conjointly in person and virtually. Alrighty, so there's that one. What do you think is the biggest barrier that keeps you from participating in programs that occur after school? Choose all that apply. Scheduling, obviously the biggest conflict. Let's see here. School didn't let them know what was going on. Conflict with schedules, work schedule. And then technology wasn't a problem. Transportation really wasn't a problem. But those were the biggest ones. All right? Although a problem for some, here are the biggest ones to look at there. And then using the list below, check the best days and times to attend events. Tuesdays and Thursdays were significantly larger than the others. I know that here at LCMS, Thursdays filled with a lot of games often, so that's why we choose Tuesdays, but a lot of people like the evenings, all right? That's why we have SAC meetings on Tuesdays and what have you, okay? And we try not to interfere with other sports. Obviously, if there's a football game like the fall or what have you, we'll take that into consideration, but we try to keep Tuesdays and Thursdays because this is what parents are wanting. Now, this is interesting, obviously, morning, afternoon, and evening. You can see the responses there. Now, this next one, I'm going to read a list here. It says, what type of parent and family engagements that will build your skills in helping your child achieve academically would you most likely attend? This was really interesting. I'm going to read a list from this other screen because you can kind of sort of see it here. But interactive learning games, math credit nights, sports games, we don't have time. Advanced classes or dual enrollment information. Okay. Only things that are beneficial to child and parents' learning. Reading and math nights. I like that. Anything after 5. Okay. Meetings, open house, convenience, incentives like extra credit. Some good ideas in there. All right, let me move my screen back over here. All right, next item up for bids. All righty. Title I budget considerations. Alrighty, so as we move forward to the new year, our budgets have changed ever so slightly. And I'm just going to be flat out with this one, all right? We have a set budget, and budget is based off of total school and student enrollment, okay? In other words, the more students that are attending school, the more budget you have to play with. If things change, then, things got to be divvied up, so on and so forth, okay? Who's enrolled in the Title I programs? How many students do you have? Where are those students located at? Which schools have the most needs? So on and so forth, all right? So keep in mind that last year was a little unique because we were dealing with a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on, I just completely lost the word, all right? Money that was transferred and unused, okay? We'll just keep it really, really simple. Money that was transferred and unused, and it rolled over to this year, okay, and included in our budget. This year, it's really a lot different, okay? So last year, we had a budget of nearly, yep, there it was, of $62,000 to play with, okay? I say play with, to utilize in supplements for education, okay? And we use it on a lot of good things, and I covered that at the last meeting, okay? This year, we're down to $40,000. That is a $22,000 difference, okay? And I say all that because right now, we are in the midst of planning. And what I'd like to know are some of the things that you were happy about, some of the things that you weren't happy about, some of the things that, maybe you thought were effective or weren't effective, so on and so forth. Example, do you believe that All Pro Dads was effective? Do you believe that All Star Moms was effective? What would you change about it? Did you like the program? Is that something we should consider? Okay. Some of the resources that we use, like IXL, were you happy with that? Have you had a chance to experience that? Look at that, so on and so forth, right? So if there's something that we did here on campus that you were like, yeah, that's really cool, I really like that. Yeah, I didn't really understand or get that, or didn't think that was effective. Let us know about it, okay? Additionally, we also have some parent and family engagement money that we're going to get a little decrease on, okay? So we need to make sure that we use that effectively. So I'm going to present here next some budget considerations that we can use with Title I, okay, and in little categories, something that you can think about as far as, hey, I think we should do this, I think we should do that, I don't think we should do this, I don't think we should do that, so on and so forth. So here we go. I'm going to blaze through these. So if you want to slow down, I'm not going to read everything on the screen because you don't need a screen rereader. Okay, you can do that on your own, but I'll hit some highlights. All right, so here we go. All right, as far as the ability to understand state academic standards, all right, obviously parent conferences are helpful. We have an open house. Assessment reports, those are things like any kind of interim assessments from, say, we used to use iReady, but whatever they're using right now, the iExcel or what have you. Focus Parent Portal. Somebody did mention Focus training and training on how to use and understand Focus. I really like that. That is something we could definitely do looking into next year. Family Reading Night. Should we consider that? Compacts and, it says compacts and compacts. Okay, oopsie. Data chats with parents, annual Title I meeting. We have to do that by law, but that is a thing that we have to do to understand the academic standards. And transition nights, those are things for like students going into the next grade. Usually the other school takes care of that. Example, we just took care of Ed Fair, where we invited RSGA students out to look at course availability and electives that they have the options of choosing from, and clubs and organizations here at LCMS. All right, that's part of the transition. All right. We can't really help with CHS because CHS hosts their own transition and welcomes 8th graders over to their area. So we can't really help with that. But, it kind of gives you an idea there. Materials and training, such as, hey, parent resource room, do you think it's effective? Academic workshops, again, or events. Progress report nights, transition nights, internet security. This is something that's kind of big and on the minds of everybody. What are we doing for internet security, especially with all the current talk about video recording platforms? Are they safe? Are they not? What do students need to know? Should we consider doing something like that? Is that important for parents? Newsletters, do you find them effective? Are we using Remind in Google Classroom appropriately? Do you understand what's going on with those? Do we need to have some training? Sharing of resources that are available here on campus. Let's see here. The next one, as far as partnering with parents, or partnering parents with teachers, support personnel, teacher leaders, and administrators. Have we developed strategies with our school advisory council, our parent-teacher organizations? Are our book studies effective? Would you be interested in taking care of professional learning communities between the two people, between the two groups, like parents and teachers, so on and so forth? We use the parent-family engagement survey, that sort of thing. Parent involvement program coordination. Again, are you guys utilizing the parent resource room? Is that effective? Summer slide packets. That's like, are students still learning or at least holding on to the information they absorbed the previous year? That's why we do a lot of reviews at the beginning of the year, just so there's no sliding back and forgetting what they have. All right. Community partnerships. Backpack, it says ministries. Those are some ideas. After school programs. This one I do want to caution on. With after school programs, there has to be academic reasoning and need for it. In the sense that, so like we had a brain bowl, okay? Absolutely. If we had a program designed to help improve academically and with behavior and focused on that, absolutely, all right? So after school programs, there has to be an academic reasoning behind it and an academic core behind it. Let's see, through the community. So you see those there. All right, next one. Let's see here. Can we share information about programs and meetings with parents? How are we using our communications? Are we using these things effectively? Should we consider something else? Are you getting enough information for those at IEP meetings? And, are we getting enough information from SAC, PTO? Are we communicating accordingly? All righty. So that takes care of that one. So some final thoughts here. and some important events for the remainder of the school year. Up and coming, let's see here, 1 week from tonight, the 11th, we're having our fast night. It has been themed Fast and Furious, and I'll go ahead and plug that real quick while I'm talking. And this is what we used to call FSA night, right? And FSA night was always about, what students need to think about and how parents can help their students and what goes on at FSA, so on and so forth. Well, again, now we're talking about the Florida Assessment of Student Thinking. So what differences are there? What do students need to think about? How can parents help? Additionally, we'll provide study packets, so on and so forth. So here is the invitation for Fast Night. I sent a colored copy of this flyer home with every student. That went home between Monday and today. And you should have received your copy of it. If not, well, ask your student where it's at, okay? But you can see it right there. And yeah, I partnered with the, the Antique Auto Club of America. And these are guys that have classics and muscle cars and so on and so forth. And I invited them out to showcase their cars, and because it goes on with Fast and Furious night. I also encourage some race car drivers that come out and bring their cars and what have you. So it's a good chance for community involvement. But again, the focus is going to be in the cafeteria where we cover this information here for you. And of course, we got some food for everybody that shows up. So there we go. Other important information. Let's see here. All Pro Dads and All Star Moms. I was going to inquire to the need to do that for April, and I'm going to hold off on doing that in May because there is so much chaos with testing and makeup testing and so on and so forth. And so I think I can officially say we probably have done our last one for the evening because I don't want to for the year because I really don't want to overload teachers and parents and students because this month already we've had, and this is April, right? We've had our Ed Fair, and we're fixing to have Fast Night. That's two huge events, and then we're fixing to get right into the stress of testing, right? So I didn't want to, kind of overwhelm our parents and students and such. But as far as testing is concerned, ELA will have their testing, they call it the reading test, English Language Arts Reading, on the 2nd of May. 7th grade civics and 8th grade science on the 9th of May. And of course, math and algebra will be on the 16th, and the last day of classes. We're already approaching that, right? Man, we're got like 6 weeks left. Well, 8 weeks, whatever it is. Not too long, okay? And that's on the 26th of May. Alrighty? So, final thoughts. I would say discussion can only talk to a screen for so long, but some final thoughts. If anything that I've said in here has triggered something or triggered a response or you think about something or you had a thought, please, please, please contact me, all right, by email, respond, text, etc. I know I went over a lot of information real fast, but that's cool because you can kind of hit that rewind button and boom, there you go, right? And then, hopefully, I can get that information out to you in regards to what we're doing for media and get that principals report out to you as well, and so on. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Now, I will be gone off campus until Tuesday, the 11th. Okay, I have a family event I'm partaking in. And so, I will be off campus for that brief moment. But yeah, we'll see how things are. And depending on the response here, we may or may not have another meeting, depending on the response that we get here. And there might be some things I need to present to you guys digitally through email and such that to use as we move forward, especially with regards to planning and budgeting. All right. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great week. And we'll catch you. I would say on my YouTube channel, I always say catch you on the next episode, but I don't think that counts here. Good night.